Lydia and I'm a guide here at Laketrails, and today I'm going to teach you how to do an arts and crafts activity. So all you're going to need for today's activity are some sticks that are like Y sticks, and I'll talk more about that in a minute, and friendship bracelet string, as well as a couple needles. If you don't have needles, you can always use like a twig, but it's just going to take a little bit more time. You're going to want a really small one. These are cross-stitch needles, so they're dull at the end, so they're not going to hurt, but any sewing needle will do. So we're going to be weaving on the branches, so that's why you want a Y. And what's important is that it's like strong, because you're going to be using string. So I got this one, and just squeezing it a little bit, it broke, so that's not what we're gonna want. It is nice and thin, but you gotta squeeze it a little bit. So I have two sizes. This one's gonna be smaller and not take as much time, and then this one you could make as big as you want. So first off, you're gonna wanna pick out what colors you want, and then I'll teach you how to get started. Okay, so first we're gonna make the webbing that we're gonna weave on. You can pick any color you want. I've picked white just because it's the color I have the most of. And you're just gonna start by tying the string around your stick. It doesn't have to be too tight because we're gonna be wrapping it around. And just wrap it around a little bit. And then you're gonna move to the bottom one, wrap it around a few times, and then wrap it around the top one. And then do the same thing as you go up the branch. Trying to space it out as even as you can. This part, you can also decide if you want it further away or closer together. The closer together they are, the more intricate it can be. So just do that, and then I'll show you how to do the weaving. So once you're done setting it up, you're gonna tie off the end here. So it's gonna look a little something like this. It also would be good to have scissors. You don't need it, you can break this string pretty easily, but it is nice. So now we're gonna go ahead and start weaving on it. So you can do designs or just different colors. I'll show you how to do a little bit, but this is just pretty easy beginner weaving techniques. So I'm gonna start with this green that I picked out. So I'll just do about that much. We had to split this string in half in order to get it through the needle. So I've split the first color I want to start with, which is green, in half. And then the first couple lines are going to be the hardest, because if you see there's like a gap in between them, but bringing them together they'll eventually form like this. But to start, we're going to tie off our string on the first line. Simple overhand knot. You want to make sure it is on the bottom of the string. Like that. And then you can just snip that tail off. And then you're going to thread your needle, which like so. And now all that this is under and over. So you're gonna go under. Like I said, the first couple lines are the trickiest. And then once they're brought together, you will be able to do it much easier. So I'll just show you the first line.
and then do a couple more lines off camera.
When you get to the end, it's just gonna flip around and it's gonna be alternate now. So before it was under over, and now it's gonna be the opposite. And see, it's already gonna be so much easier because they're coming together. So you're gonna flip it around. Down. That it's starting to form a pattern. And also all the lines, there's not as big of a gap, like I can't put my finger through it. So we're just gonna keep going as much as you want. Like so. So like once I finish a line, I'll go and push it down just with my fingers, wanting to keep it pretty tight and making sure that if any of them kind of get loose, you just move them a little bit. And so you're gonna do that for as long as you want this color for. Now I want this color to just be a straight line, but the next color I'm gonna, it's gonna not be straight, so I'll show you how to do that in a minute. All right, so now that we're done with this color for now, we're gonna end it in a very similar way that we began. So just making sure everything is pushed down and tight. We're gonna take our needle off the string and then put it somewhere safe where you're not gonna lose it. And then we're just gonna tie it around the string again, cutting off the tail, and then we can hide those tails later. I like to do 2 overhand knots right at the very end, just to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. Like that, and then just snip it off as close as you can. And that's the first color. Alright, so I'm going to be making a little mountain on top of this grass that I've made. And if you'll notice, I started the brown 1 line over on each side, and now I want it to be even smaller. So instead of going around this last one, I'm going 1 in and going around. And you want to make sure that you do several lines on each section so they look thick. And then the same thing on this side. Instead of going around this one, I'm gonna go around this one. So then you just make a few lines on these 2 instead of those 2. Alright, so now we've got a little design, this little short guy, and we're gonna fill in the background with this pink color. Gonna wrap it around to hide that tail. And then you just go in between each stitch to do lines at the same time. So there isn't too many on that section. And there's that first part. Now we're gonna go do the second part. and keep filling it in. Alright, so now that we've got this whole side filled in, we're going to tie it off at the top and do the same exact thing until you get to the top. Alright, so once each side is complete, we are just going to go back and forth on each side, similar to how we did with the green, to finish filling in that space. Now, I don't like to go all the way to the top because I like to have some of that exposed thread, but it's up to you. You can keep adding different patterns or colors and just be creative with it. Alright, so this is what it looks like right now. This is a great craft to come outside and do, and maybe listen to a podcast or some music. You could just leave it like this, or just keep adding colors depending on how much time you have, but this is what we're going to end with today. I hope you learned a fun new craft and you have the opportunity to try it sometime.